gonna go today? This is our second day? Oh, where are you gonna go?
In the church.
In the church. You're gonna pray for Papa Jesus na?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you happy?
Balik
Yeah.
daw sa may papunta sa Pastor Bell.
Okay. Ay, punta tayo doon?
Happy Papa Diving.
This is the Miramichi. Ayun na. Sira yun. Ganun na yata yung video nila ito. Wala nang driver.
Ay, may mga ganun na ngayon.
Napakadobo.
Hi!
Hi everybody, welcome to our Max Aiken. Just before we get going, we need a briefing that we normally do on the dock. We're asking that you take some hand sanitizer. Protect the passengers. We're going to be on the Max for the next 45 minutes. And, excuse me, 90 minutes. We're going to proceed in this direction, 45 minutes. We're going to turn around and come back to this dock. We'll be back here at 5 o'clock. On the way downriver, because that's the direction we're going, I'm going to give you a little history tour of the area. Tell you about what you see, tell you something about the people, and try to help you understand who Miramichiers are and why we have to do some things. Although that's a mystery, I'm sure. And then once we turn around and come back, I'm just going to go away, leave you alone, and you can enjoy the peace and quiet of the air and the sunshine and fresh air. Okay? I'm interested in where is this group from? Are you on a tour? Yeah, where are you from originally? Philippines? Okay. So this is an organized tour, is it? No? Oh, okay. St. George, okay. So this is a day trip then. Very good. Where are you folks from? You say, well, okay, who's that one then? You say, his girlfriend. And we start to wonder, does he have more than one girlfriend? Or does she have more than one house? But that's the most easy part. But some of these homes you don't even see from the street. You just see the top of the roof, and sometimes you don't see them at all. So the French set up settlements all along the river here. This part was claimed as part of New France, and this part of New France was called Acadia. And the people who lived here were called Acadians, people of French descent. And anybody here French descent? Acadians? Okay, we got one. Well, three captains of Acadians. I'm Scotch Presbyterian, I'm not joking. So we have a couple of Acadians on board, and they make their life here mostly as farmers and lumber companies. But then other countries were looking to claim this land too. And the country that gave them the most competition in this area was England. England was a historical enemy at the time. So the English started coming into the river, and they were taking over gradually. And so there was a war. War of 1756 and 1763. And in that war, British Navy ships came up the river and they destroyed French settlements. And one thing they always destroyed was if there was a church there, they always made sure to destroy the church. Because the French were Catholic church, just like that. And they thought if they destroyed the Catholic church, the French would give up. So one ship, the HMS, so that's an example of how the snow built the house. Telling you about. Now, it was the home of Judge Peters, who was the richest man around here and maybe the richest man in New Brunswick. And how could a judge be the richest person? I mean, he works for a salary. Well, they found a tunnel that went from the house down to the river. And in the 1800s, if you had a tunnel from your house to the river, you were a rum smuggler. So the judge may have been making a few dollars on the side smuggling rum. Now it's a nice warm day today. Last week it was a scorcher out here every day for about 2 weeks with that high heat and humidity. And I like to say there are no shade trees out here. So it was like a grill on the top of the boat for the last couple of weeks. So this is very nice. It's hard to believe, you know, that we'd say 24, 25, 26 is a cool day, but we're saying it now. We were praying for snow on the boat last week, just hoping for some coolness. Now this gray house with the blue roof, there's something there I just want to point out to you. You may or may not be able to see it. I want you to use your imagination, and I want you to walk up that wooden gangway you see on the shore. So just walk up that gangway, stop on the other end. The top rocks are soft sandstone. They wouldn't be of any use at all.
What are you doing?
And in the spring, when those 2 to 4 feet of ice start to break up and move out, they cause a lot of damage along the shore. And if your house is right beside the shore, you don't want to lose any land because it could work its way back to you. So you put the rocks out to protect your property. Those rocks are only mined in northern New Brunswick and around Glasgow, Scotland. Fish, there was a lot of shipping. So they had to keep those crews healthy, and they had a special hospital. If you were a passenger on that ship, you're in trouble because you arrived here with diphtheria, smallpox, chickenpox, typhus, yellow fever, you name it, you had it. There was no hospital for you. So you were put on a quarantine station. You know how quarantine works, eh? There's an island on the other side of the bridge. And it's called Middle Island. And so passengers who were ill were put on Middle Island, and you stayed there until you got better, or they carried you off. And most of them didn't get better. And the most busy time for that quarantine station was in the 1820s and 1840s during the Irish potato famines. And so a lot of kids were left with no parents. They were orphans. And that's why the Chatham area ahead of us has so much Irish influence, is because a lot of the people who did survive from that quarantine station were Irish. Now, the Miramichi fire, I'll tell you a bit more about it, but when it came through here, it completely burned this village here, except for 6 buildings. And this little stone cottage with the white blue chair on the step and the 2 windows in the roof, that house survived the Miramichi fire of 1825. It's the Wise Cottage, W-Y-S-E. It was built in 1820, and today it's an Airbnb with a 5-star rating. So it's really nice, I guess. So you could look it up. Maybe that's a place to stay sometime. The mate to that house, which hasn't been refurbished, it's lived in, there's a family living in it, but it hasn't been refurbished. It's out on the street. And so we had a lot of ships. And so they built the bridge high so the ships could get under. But now we don't have any of those things, so we don't have much shipping. If they're going to replace this bridge, it would just be a straight concrete bridge. But there were 5 of these opened that year across Canada, and the closest one's in Trois-Rivières, Quebec. It's under refit right now. It's 54 years old, and they're redoing it. They started 4 or 5 years ago. At the time, they said this is going to take 4 or 5 years. It's going to cost $80 million. And so at the end of their timeline, they're not finished. It's going to be another 2 or 3 or 4 years, I guess. We've blown through 80 million. We're at 120 million now. And if you want to see Cranky on the river, you should be here on a day when they close it to 1 lane. That's Cranky on the river. And here's the worst part. They've sandblasted it, painted it, fixed the steel. They're working on the piers now underneath. The next big job is to do the deck, and they're going to have to close the bridge for 4 months to do the deck. That means the bridge won't be there for us. So we'll even take some addresses of your relatives in the Philippines. We are going away that summer to visit somebody. We may be down to the St. George area to visit you for 4 months that summer. Okay, to get away from here, because the traffic is going to be murder. So we're going to be traveling. That little church that we passed up there, it has a couple of notable people buried there. One is Dr. Vondi. I forget. Did I tell you about Dr. Vondi? No? You know, after you give so many of these tours in the run of a day, you kind of forget what you said. I'm a retired school teacher, and I taught for 33 years. And sometimes I'd teach the same lesson 3 or 4 times a day. And by the time I got to the last lesson, I didn't know what I said to who all day. So I'm kind of in that situation right now. But that quarantine station didn't have any medical service. Okay. So we're going to sing another song then. Teacher always has another lesson plan. We're going to sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Okay? So when we get on the line built from the Newcastle main line down here, and they put the station on this wharf, and that's why it's called Station Wharf, because that's where the station was located. The mural on the back of the building honors the Avon Queen, which was the last sailing ship to leave here with a cargo on board. The Miramichi fire didn't burn Chatham, it went behind Chatham, and Chatham became the rescue center and the supply center for everybody who was burned out. You see that brown building with the black and gold sign over the windows? That's the oldest house here. It was the Williston home. It was here when the fire went through, and today it's O'Donoghue's Irish pub. Now, Francis Peabody was the man who founded this community, and he was a trader, T-R-A-D-E-R. He came here to trade. He tied up to a big spruce tree, and he called this place The Spruce, and then later renamed it Chatham after one of them. Listen, he will not interrupt you, and if you tell him a secret, he will not repeat it. Very, very confidential. This is Waterford Park. Normally in the summer we have lots of things going on there, but last year and this year not so much, hopefully next year. And now we're approaching the Rod Inn and Suites. It's our convention center on the river, and we oftentimes go into the dock here and pick up groups from the hotel, and they can arrange food to be served on board to your group. You can have hot food or a picnic lunch, go on a picnic cruise. We'd also like to mention Vera's Kitchen, which is a little restaurant on the wharf back at Ritchie Wharf. And there are 2 new companies in town, Maritime Craft Brewery around the corner from Ritchie Wharf, and Three Dog Distillery just up the hill from Ritchie Wharf. And the captain says if you tell Three Dog that he sent you, you might even get some free tasters. I think he's got a deal. I think he gets free tasters if you get free tasters. I don't know.
You sing